pray if you don't move when I pray? I know how to say it. God taught me how to say it, somebody. You see how much I love preaching? Okay, come here. Today's word. Ready? We in word. We in word. We in word. Get your notes. Got your pen. You ready? 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 Come on. Today's word. You hard-headed, overthinker. I'm overstimulated. You, I'm impulsive. I'm trying to better control these emotions and my thoughts. You, I'm talking to you. I hate that she said that, he said that. I hate that it's like this. I hate that you feel that way about me. I hate that you don't see me. You cannot fight the will of God. If that's the will of God for you right now, you can't fight it. You can't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hear me, somebody. I know how to say it. See, God know how to console us. God know how to soothe us. That's why he gave us the comforter, the encourager, and the advocate, the spirit of the truth. He knows how to send, hear it again. That's why he gave us the spirit of the truth. Read your Bible. The comforter, the encourager, and the advocate. Can I use the comforter right now for somebody? God loves you so much. Oh my God. You don't even know that, do you? Hold on. God loves you so much that he knows, hear me somebody, there is more sources to use to prove that love than just roses, rainbows, yeses. Oh my God, say it again. Say it again, somebody ain't listening. God knows I can show my love to you besides more than just roses, rainbows, yeses, approvals, things working in your favor, granted, accepted. Hear me somebody that don't want to hear the truth. Do you know God can show his love by allowing you and helping you survive an ordained trial? Oh my God. Wait. Do you know that another way God can show his love to you is by allowing you to find yourself in a situation that you didn't even think you need to be in, and then God help you out that same situation? Hold up. Another way, watch this somebody, because this is you, that God can show you how much he loves you by letting you be negative, disrespectful, nasty, and boastful. And you fail situation in a situation that you deserve to be in. And God being so good, no goodwill, you don't deserve to be in this. You don't deserve. And I save you from your own mess. Come on, Win. Come on, I got it. Come on, Win. I like this word so far. Hear me, I can't move on till you understand God's love, because it's part of the will. God gave me a quote, and I want to give it to you. Some of y'all might gotta type it in the comments, but hear me before I open the Bible. Today's word, you cannot fight the will of God. Listen, sometimes some things that happen to us might not be good to us, but it's definitely good for us. One more time, preach. Hold on. Sometimes some things that happen to us sometimes ain't good to us, but it is good for us. You know that heartbreak, the reason why you don't play no more? You know that job being bogus, the reason why you don't play no more? You know your mother not being a mother, the reason why you don't play no more? You know your father not being there or a father, the reason why you don't play no more? You know that friend being backdoor, that ex being a liar and cheater, that right-hand man being the devil. It's the same reason why you don't play no more. Hold on, somebody. I want to talk to somebody who actually learned a lesson from what God allowed you to find yourself in. Oh, okay. I want to talk to somebody who actually learned the lesson from what God allowed you to find yourself in. Can I talk to somebody that don't play no more? What do you say? Can I talk to somebody that don't play that no more? I'm right here, preach. I'm right here, preach. I'm right here, preach. Hold on. See, that's my testimony. Hold on. When you gonna open the Bible, you must know me. I'm getting you warm. You must know me. I gotta start somewhere so you can understand, okay? This is Isaiah 55. I'm gonna start at verse 6. Okay. Type this in the comments. You say, this is what I need for real, bro. Stay right there. Today's word is you cannot fight the will of God. But type in the comments, but there is 2 things I can do though. Say it again, preach. Today's word is you cannot fight the will of God. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the stuff. But somebody type in the comments, but there is 2 things that I can do though. Today we want to speak on 2 of them. Besides fight the will of God, there is 2 things you can do. Okay, I want to start at Isaiah 55, verse 6 on. Grab with me, relax. God made me, picked me for you. Made this word today for you. You cannot fight. Someone type in the comments, get him, preach, get him, preach. You don't know me? I'm good at hearing God. Someone type in the comments, get him, preach, get him, preach. Baby girl. Gang. Phone them. Sis. Bro. Saint. Celebrity. Influencer. Famous person. God said, tell you this right now before I get deeper in this word. That is his will. If it wasn't God's will for it to be that, it wouldn't have happened. The more you act like it could have been something else after the fact, the more you're going to always not see God's signature. I know how to use good wording. Say it again. The more you act like after the fact, something else. It gotta be. It can be something else. The more you miss God's signature. Real quick, actually, we have a God that know a lot of us don't want to get to this next part. A part of the reason why it happens.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Well, we did get our first big event of the year from one of the major platform holders of 3 announced. That coming from Microsoft, and it seems like they've given us an idea as to what we can look forward to, but there's one other mystery game floating around, but we'll go over all of that here today. Also, we already talked about Nintendo as they announced some new hardware and accessories and gave us an overview trailer for a big game coming up here soon. I gotta say, it looks better than I was expecting. And there's some concerns right now popping up once again for GTA 6 and the question around another delay. Will it end up in 2027? Well, we'll go over that and more. Guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure you hit that like button. Helps that a ton. And if you're new here to the Small Wave channel, make sure you subscribe down below. And of course, members for the channel do get Newswave early. if you would like to learn more about that, click the join button or link in the description down below. We're going to start today with Nintendo and their GameCube application on the Switch 2 through NSO, as they had a bit of a surprise drop for us, and that's Fire Emblem. Take a look at this trailer here, and as at the time of this recording, it's live on their Japan Nintendo account, but I haven't seen anything from Nintendo of America, nothing like that, but I have a feeling that's going to pop up here any minute now, as it is available currently on the NSO app. I double-checked just before recording. It is there, and this is a very good release. If you have not played Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, I fully recommend it. This was a big deal back then because, hey, we get this console game coming off of Smash Bros. Melee, which is how a lot of us got introduced to Fire Emblem outright anyway. So we're looking at this like, oh, it's the characters from Smash Bros. Melee. We had Game Boy Advance games that came out in the States before this, but this was the big console version of the game. Otherwise, you got to go back to the Super Famicom. So really, really cool release. It's a great game if you haven't played it. It's Fire Emblem without any like the school stuff that we had in, say, Three Houses, but this is still harkening back to kind of the older days of the strategy RPGs. Now, I really like those. So yeah, I'm going to fire this one up and check it out. Should also look pretty good, I figure, even with some upscaling and stuff through NSO and the GameCube app. So really cool Shadow Drop. Just there you go. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, now available on the GameCube app. Also, we did get a release date for Avowed on the PlayStation 5. This we can see over on Gematsu, where they say publisher Xbox Game Studios and developer Obsidian Entertainment will release a PlayStation 5 version of Avowed on February 17th, alongside the game's anniversary update. All right, so there will be just a full update across the board for Xbox and PC as well. This will introduce new features like New Game Plus, a photo mode, new weapon type, changing appearance in the world, new character presets, and more godlike feature presets. All right, so that, again, February 17th, look out for that alongside the anniversary update. This is going to be a slew of releases as we see Microsoft making more and more of a push to PlayStation and the Switch 2, and it seems like, again, their dev kit situation around the new hybrid system from Nintendo has been kind of sorted out. So I feel like you're going to see a lot of those get rapid-fired as well, with Switch 2 logos and PlayStation logos popping up all over the place, and, well, that's going to lead into what we'll talk about here soon with their Developer Direct. Oh, and sticking with Microsoft, we also got a full release date for Towerborn. Now, I say full release date because it's kind of been in this early access state. It was also free to play, but it seems like they're leaving that behind now. As you can see, this is over on the news.xbox.com site, saying created and developed by Stoic and published by Xbox Game Studios Publishing. Towerborn is a cooperative, side-scrolling action RPG brawler. All right, so following the game preview release that happened last April, Towerborn is launching in full on February 26th, 2026. Xbox Series XS, Xbox on PC, Steam, PlayStation 5 Game Pass. That's Premium and Ultimate. They also mentioned that it's handheld verified and supports Xbox Play Anywhere. It's a premium $25 game for Standard Edition and $29.99 for the Deluxe Edition. Now, again, when it had come out, they even mentioned here, it started like free to play, and now they're transitioning away from that as something you can just buy and complete fully offline. So it's not necessarily this online free-to-play game anymore. And I would prefer that myself. I know there are people who like the free-to-play options because there's no barrier of entry, but then also you can have situations where you get into it and realize, oh yeah, this is definitely a free-to-play game because it's introducing this artificial grind, or it's putting a lot of microtransactions in front of me. I don't mind the idea of, okay, $25. I can check out the video and the previews and see if it's something I want to get into myself. And if so, then you get the whole game outright without any weird free-to-play trickery there. So I guess look out for that as well coming up in the next month or so. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with Microsoft and their Developer Direct. This will be happening in a couple of weeks, January 22nd. And they outlined 3 different games that'll be there. And it seems like there might be a hidden 4th one as well, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's take a look, though. We can see this is over on news.xbox.com once again, where they say the show includes not 1 but 2 titles from Playground Games, with the UK studio bringing us a first extended look at Fable, as well as the debut of gameplay for Forza Horizon 6. We'll also be taking a trip to Tokyo to visit the legendary, get this, Game Freak offering a first in-depth look at Beast of Reincarnation, which they did reveal at the Xbox Game Showcase last year, but it's interesting to see Game Freak's logo pop up here in the Xbox Developer Direct. We've talked about how they make stuff other than Pokemon. It's just, you see the Game Freak logo, it's kind of synonymous with Pokemon at this time, but hey, they're trying something new, and something that caught a lot of people off guard because it doesn't look like it's from, 2 generations ago with Beast of Reincarnation. All right, so they do also talk about what we can expect from each of these different entries here, what they'll be showing exactly. For example, with Fable, devs from the Playground team will unveil the magic and mischief that awaits players in this fresh new beginning of the franchise, including a first look at some stunning new gameplay. They'll say, of course, the core features and themes of Fable will all be there. Choice, consequence, drama, action, the British humor, chickens, great. The gameplay is the thing I'm really curious about. How the world looks, how it interacts, how much your choice actually affects the world around you, and I would assume then also a branching story path. I mean, are we creating our character in the game, and it's just completely original and unique from there? So a lot of questions for this game, and it's Playground Games, so it's not exactly something they're known for when it comes to Fable. They are known for, though, racing games like Forza Horizon, so they also mentioned Forza Horizon 6. This should be pretty straightforward for them. They know what they're doing. They're in their wheelhouse. No pun intended there. They say that segment will deep dive into a very first look at gameplay, including reveals of new features and how Japan comes to life in this stunning new installment. And then with Game Freak, Beast of Reincarnation says for the first time, Game Freak will reveal details of our protagonist Emma's innovative plant manipulation actions and gameplay with her canine companion Ku. In Beast of Reincarnation, a profound and dangerous world unfolds in post-apocalyptic Japan. So I think these are 3, pretty strong entries here to show off, and having Playground Games basically in just one shot here for the Developer Direct. Great. 2 big games with Fable and Forza Horizon 6 coming from Microsoft, and then partnering with Game Freak to show off their game. But a 4th game. Well, Shinobi over on Reset Era says, just frankly, there's a secret 4th game. And that's led to wild speculation, obviously, and the one I would like to just throw out there and say, you know what, this would be a cool thing to see, is Toys for Bob, and what a lot of people assume they're working on, that being a new Spyro game. I think it'd be pretty cool if they had the Toys for Bob logo show up there with the other 3, and then here comes the purple dragon flying in, and it's a brand new Spyro game. So that'd just be fun to see, but really it could be anything. There's so many games right now that are in development within Microsoft, and then of course all of their other subsidiary studios at this point. Who knows what could show up, but they're getting things started here, I think, in a strong way, with Playground Games showing up with Fable and Forza Horizon 6, so we'll see what they have for us on January 22nd. Next up, let's talk about the Switch 2 and our first custom released Joy-Con 2 controllers from Nintendo. And they did this a lot during the Switch 1 generation, where we just get kind of those random color Joy-Cons, usually coincide with a game release, like Splatoon as an example, or Mario, and then we'd get those occasional Pro controllers as well, but we would also just get random Joy-Con color releases, and it was kind of fun because it was a way to customize your system since they'd be attached, and you could see the colors completely right there since it was the entire Joy-Con that would change color. Not the case with the Switch 2, as we're starting to see, and it was something I was a little concerned about when we would see the Joy-Con 2 controllers when they first were revealed. I was like, okay, it's mostly this like dark gray or black color, and then there's like highlights of blue or orange or what have you. Well, here's the new Joy-Con 2 controllers. Yeah, they it's not a lot of color changing there. Okay, so they say that the first new color Joy-Con 2 controllers, light purple and light green. They also arrive February 12th. Again, this is going to be coinciding with the game, that being Mario Tennis Fever. We'll get to that in a second here. These controllers, though. Okay, here's the thing. When you put this on your Switch 2, you're not really going to see that inside part of it, right where the railing is and the SL and SR buttons. That just kind of disappears. It's a very faint line that you'll see with kind of just the slight separation between the Joy-Con 2 and the Switch 2 main body. You'll see underneath of the joysticks, those colors you will see, right? But the rest of it's still going to look very similar to the to the Joy-Con 2 controllers. I was just thinking maybe there's a little more you can do. There's some etching around even the dark gray or black body of the Joy-Con 2, just something to differentiate it a bit. I mean, I don't mind if they go crazy and the whole thing is just completely different color. We already have seen that effect with some of the third-party offerings and shells you can buy on places like Amazon, and they look fine. I mean, it's just going to depend on the color you pick and obviously how you coordinate it, but it doesn't look off, is what I'm saying. Unfortunately, this isn't the path I was really hoping they'd go. And then, of course, you take a look over on their website. Yes, a pair of Joy-Con 2 controllers. Just as a reminder for everyone, they are $100. So, unfortunately, a bit disappointing, at least for me, with that sort of reveal, because then it also makes me go, oh yeah, that's probably going to be the path forward for any of these other color combinations. Like, hey, here's a red and then like a navy blue. And it's like, oh, that's cool. Oh yeah, but then also you're really not going to see them when you're playing the system in handheld mode. It seems like less and less customization than what we had with the Switch 1. And maybe they have some crazy surprise hidden up their sleeves for the future with some kind of big anniversary, and they change the entire Switch 2 color scheme, and with that, they change up the Joy-Con 2s, but something tells me this is probably what their strategy is going to be in the future, because it's minimal stuff they have to change on the Joy-Con 2, and they can, for the most part, stick with those like black main plastic pieces for those controllers going forward. Now, they did also talk about Mario Tennis Fever, which we can move over to that now, as they did have this overview trailer for it. And you know what? This is looking pretty good, and I will say a lot of the reason I was skeptical of Mario Tennis Fever is because the way that they treated Mario Tennis Aces, where the game came out, felt kind of lackluster in terms of content, but then over time, Nintendo kept adding and adding and adding, and eventually, yeah, you get to the end of their roadmap that they had, basically, and it felt much more feature complete, but it felt like they kind of held some of it back to then drip feed it to people, and think about it this way, it's not on your cartridge then, so I don't know, it's a weird thing. So I'm happy to say that going through this trailer seems to be kind of the opposite here, where they're showing up with a pretty good, I'd even say robust offering for Mario Tennis Fever. So they have their Fever rackets that they've shown off already, but it does add abilities like they show off ice, shadow illusions, speed boost, and a bunch of others. There's apparently 30 rackets that you'll have access to. You can return a Fever racket shot, so any of these different abilities, and if it's before it bounces and you send it back, you'll also be sending the ability back to the person. So if you end up with a volley back and forth where the ball's not bouncing, it's gonna be like who lets it hit first, and they're gonna be the one that kind of gets hit with the consequences there. And as you're playing and you're getting hit with these shots, your HP can be depleted and it can put you out on the sideline. So if you're playing doubles, your partner's gonna be left there running back and forth by themselves trying to hold off the other team while you recover. So it's a pretty good risk and reward, I'd say, scenario and situation they have set up here. 38 characters, by the way, out of the gate. They say that's the most in franchise history, and when they were showing the character select screen, yeah, it looks like it. There's quite a bit to pick from there. They also have classic tennis, so if you don't want to play with any of the Fever racket stuff, you can just do straight up old school Mario Tennis, and that's great, because that would make me think more along the lines of what I would play back on the GameCube with Mario Tennis. You have motion controls with the swing mode. I don't know if I'll be using that, but I'm sure it'll be something fun for people to kind of use in a party setting. There's tournament, trial towers, pinball mode, all kinds of stuff to do here. And yes, there is an adventure mode, and we have to see how much is here with this, because they didn't get too in-depth. Maybe they'll do another trailer kind of showcasing it. I'm hoping that there is maybe, I don't want to say just a full RPG setup, because they've done that before with even on the Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. I would like to see a bit more when it comes to character progression and customization. I mean, they do say you take on bosses and you improve your skills, so maybe it plays into that, but hey, we'll see when it drops here February 12th. There's also full online play, ranked matches, and game share. So if you have a friend that doesn't have the game, you can jump into game chat with them and share the game back and forth, and you can just play online together. Or if you're in person, you can share it wirelessly through local play. So I think right now, looks a lot better than I was expecting, and I'm actually excited for Mario Tennis Fever now coming up here very, very soon. It's out in a month. So while the Joy-Cons kind of disappointing, the game kind of evened it out a bit there, I'd say, because to me it feels like it was over-delivering from what I was expecting after Mario Tennis Aces. So good news there, at least on the game side. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about Grand Theft Auto 6, as it is now scheduled to come out in November. So looking forward to holiday 2026 for that, we hope. But we did have Jason Schreier, who was talking a bit on a podcast recently about his thoughts around the release, how Sony's lining up with this, and how things are going even on the development side internally at Rockstar as they race towards that release date. We can see this. This is transcribed over on GameSpot, saying, during a recent appearance on the Button Mash podcast, Jason Schreier said, the last I heard, GTA 6 was still not content complete. That is to say, people were still finishing things up, still finalizing levels and missions, and seeing what is going to make it into the game. He added that he doesn't think anyone at Rockstar can tell you with 100% certainty that they will make it out in November. Now, this, of course, has led to all kinds of concerns that it's going to miss their release window or release date again, coming up in November, and that's not necessarily what Jay Schreier was saying or implying here, because he did respond over on a social media account saying, this is a complete misunderstanding of what I said, which is that I wouldn't be shocked if GTA 6 does come out this fall, following the same delay pattern as Red Dead Redemption 2. Of course, another delay is possible. It's a video game, but this blog post is very misleading. So here's the thing. It wouldn't shock me either if it got delayed. I don't think it would shock anyone if it got delayed again. Rockstar has just delayed Grand Theft Auto multiple times in the past before, but eventually the game has to come out, and it has been a long time since GTA 5 released back in 2013. Like, are we gonna get to the position where it's been 14 years and then finally the thing comes out next year in 2027? Again, it's possible. They don't want to get this game wrong. They kind of can't get it wrong, because if they do, that's going to do a lot of damage to Take-Two and Rockstar, since this is going to be a game. I mean, think about how long GTA 5 has lasted for them. GTA 6 might just be their forever game. They might, this might be the last Grand Theft Auto they make for 20 years or something. So they got to make sure they get the base correct that I assume they'll be building on, especially with that GTA Online multiplayer. Now, Jay Schreier did also talk about the idea that Sony is treating GTA 6 almost as like a semi-exclusive PlayStation. PlayStation seems to be the lead platform, or the platform that's being focused on the most, and why wouldn't it be? It's sold significantly more than the Xbox at this time. We even saw in the trailer, it looked like there was kind of a take or a parody on a PlayStation in the GTA 6 trailer, so again, it all lines up and makes sense. I'll just be curious to see if Sony does more on their end to kind of secure marketing around GTA 6. Do they have an entire state of play for the game? Is there any kind of branding in these trailers going forward that continues to show Sony and GTA 6 together in the same slide, same image? That would make sense for Sony's angle, and actually kind of makes sense for Take-Two and Rockstar, since there's no PC release. They're completely dependent on the Xbox and PlayStation, and based on how those have sold, they're mostly really dependent on PlayStation. So we'll see how all this transpires as we go throughout the year. But at least for now, it seems like they're on track for November of 2026, at least for now. And before we go to the comment of the day, we'll take a look at the poll that I posted up yesterday. That is Game of the Year Madness, Day 16. Trails in the Sky first chapter versus 2 Point Museum. I mean, I wasn't expecting 2 Point Museum to pose much of a threat to Trails in the Sky. Okay, sure, 81% to 19%. I'm still working through Trails in the Sky, by the way. I'm 30 hours in now, so I'm taking my time going through it. I'm not necessarily sitting down and rushing through the game, anything like that. People were telling me, do a bunch of the side quests. I have been. There has been, at times, a lot of downtime. A lot of quiet parts of the game, right? Slow part where it's a lot of world building, character building. And the reason I'm taking my time with it is very clearly there is a massive world that's being built up here, just with how many entries there are for this entire franchise. It's long running, but also a lot of different iterations and versions of this game. Like, there's so many different ways that this breaks off of here. So I want to make sure that I am at least set up for the next several entries that'll probably take me a long time to also get to and then also get through. But based on the fact that I guess at the end of this year we'll have the follow-up remake for this, I gotta have it done by then so I can immediately start that one. And we'll finish up with the comments of the day, as you're seeing here. This is from Star, who says, GameStop closing near me feels so similar to when Blockbuster went under. Well, for me, when Blockbuster went under, there was one Blockbuster around me. That was it. It wasn't, oh, there's 4 different Blockbusters around me and 2 of them closed, so I still have 2 more. once Blockbuster closed, that was it. Like, it felt very abrupt, because I remember one day I was walking by and they had the big closeout sale going on. I was like, oh wow, Blockbuster's closing. DVDs were $2 each or something. It's like, oh. And then a week later, I walked by, just empty and gone. I'm like, oh wow, yeah, that's kind of the end of Blockbuster. That's how it was for me. I'm sure there were still many around in the world or in the US or what have you, but for me, that was it. GameStop, however, I've been watching it slowly dwindle down, even around me. So at one point, there were 4 of them around me that I could easily get to if I really drove like 6. Now it's down to 2, just outright. One of them is in a very popular mall, so I think that was me safe for a while. The other one's in a pretty high-traffic shopping center, so I think they've dwindled it down to the 2 that make the most sense around me now. However, if I see either of those close down, then I'll know it's pretty much it for GameStop. But I saw a lot of people in the comments, a lot of people online say, hey, that was like the last GameStop near me unless I want to drive an hour and a half. So to them, yeah, it's probably a very similar situation for what happened to me and Blockbuster back in the day. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit that like button. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about here today. If you missed yesterday's Newswave, I'll leave it up here on a card. Or maybe you want to check out an entire discussion that we had.
So this donkey live streamer was arrested a couple of weeks ago, and the dog taken for obvious reasons. Because this donkey decided to, you know what, I'm going to shock the shit out of my dog in front of my audience to show everyone how much I hate my dog. There's a couple of people, it's very justified to shock them right in the middle of the forehead checklist. People who chew with their mouth open, vegans who try to push veganity on you, and people who abuse their cats or dogs or animals in general, right? I'm not talking about rage baiting your pet or bullying your pet in a friendly way. No, that's absolutely fine. I rage bait my pussies every single day. No, I'm talking about someone who actually goes to the extent of threatening or using full force on the pets who probably don't even understand what they did wrong or why is this whole thing happening, which turns them into depression, which would lead to a very, very depressing life that they have with us, right? Anyways, meet Lionel House. This is a donkey live streamer who decided to show his hate for his dog. This sweet, sweet angel that goes by the name of Peach, who is thankfully out of his sight right now after a lot of reported his live streams to the authorities, and the authorities decided to take action by pressing charges against the donkey over here and taking the donkey. But anyways, let's go watch a couple of the videos that I've found that's been put in compilations on how to treat his dog just a triple warning. If you have pets or the other stuff for these things. Wow, what a slappable human being, right? Probably right now. I'm even surprised why he doesn't even have much more viewers. Probably like 2-3 people are on his live stream, crushing in their life. Why the fuck am I here? Why am I watching this guy express his hate for his dog? Now with his yapping sessions, expressing his feelings on his live stream made him very unlikable, but in the next clip I'm about to show you, made him actually hate him more. Actually put his hands on Peach. Why is his girlfriend still with him? I don't know. I mean, the red flag is right in front of him. You piss him off, he might hit you too. I don't know why she's even there, but she just said, hey, stop hitting the dog in the cage. He actually put his hands on the dog. There's still more clips of him putting his hands on the dog. But I just want to counter his defense. Hey, it's my dog. I can do whatever the I want with it. If I want to hit it, I will hit it. No, you don't. I hate to break it to you, donkey. That's not how the world works. That is animal cruelty. That is a crime, and you did get arrested for it. And you did find out that, hey, you cannot hit your dog just because it's your dog. I mean, his level of donkeyness is he's live streaming the whole thing. He's doing it all in front of the camera. What do you expect? It's like someone going to rob a bank and live streaming it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna rob this bank, and stay tuned till the end of the video to find out how much do we take away from all this heist. But as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy the video. I don't know.
No, you don't grab the
Tell me what I do when I'm up. Bro, this bitch is thinking she gave me a...
Don't grab the... Stop! Baby, stop! What are you doing?
She knows because she knows she'll get hurt if she don't listen.
She is a pillar and a borderline personality. She is like only use me Blaze X. Feeling. She is bad news.
Now, I do understand pets do have their good and bad days. They can be frustrating, but end of the day, they are animals, and that is how they are acting. They bark, they meow, they seem like they're on illegal sugar at 4 a.m. Cats doing a WWE match. I get frustrated at nights too. Ever since I moved into this studio, I can't remember the last time I had a full uninterrupted sleep. I always wake up every 2-3 hours because these donkeys decide to do some WWE match. But you know how I retaliate? Do I go and do I like put them in a chokehold or should hug them with my elbows? No. I retaliate by doing the same shit, partying at this time while they're sleeping. For waking me up. Now you need to get it. English left the chat for a second. I don't sleep, they don't sleep. The cycle is probably gonna go on. They're probably gonna take their revenge on me tonight as well. I'm all about rage baiting your cats. I rage bait them every single day. Here's the clip. But unfortunately, not everyone deserves their pets because they get to a point where they can't control their patience. They run out of it. They use their full force on their pets. In this case, we have a live stream where we can actually see it happening. That is when it crosses the line. Now, something I missed out and I just realized right now from reading his chat is this might have been on purpose because his chat is apparently enjoying this. I'm not joking. As you can see over here, it says bad dumb dog, beat that dumb service dog up. Someone else also said Peaches needs to be strangled. Now, after the police arrested him and took the dog away, the streamer actually responded saying the streamer argued that Peaches was not in distress in his care, but that she, yeah, sure, buddy, sure, I'm sure that hard spank on his head was all out of love, but that she is in stress now because she has been removed from him. Yeah, I'm sure she just loves you. I'm sure she's dying to get back to you. He also argued he was playing a character during the video. So this was his defense. I was hitting my dog because my chat was enjoying it and I had to give the people what they wanted, right? So this was all out of character. Can I have my dog back? This makes it so much worse. This makes it so much worse because you intentionally, not out of anger, not out of everything, you were doing this shit for views. So what? You gave a prep talk to Peaches before, hey, I'm gonna hit you when the live stream starts, but just a heads up, no hard feelings between I love you, I love you so much, but you know, once the stream goes on, we have to pay rent. You see the dog food that you're having? I have to hit you in order if you want them or not. Ready? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Peaches, you piece of shit! Shut up! No, absolutely not. Do not give the dog back. And the authorities also said, hey, you donkey, go figure yourself. We're not giving your dog back after you try to get them. But he still has to pay for the cares that the dog is going through, which is good, honestly. Now, Peaches is under the care of Dr. Jackson, who says that the dog was in so much stress. The dog is depressed because of the abuse that was caused to her, the pain that she experienced. Peaches shows numerous signs of anxiety, fear, including crouching, lower body posture with ears down and back, and cowering. These are all indicators of negative feelings experienced during either a perceived or anticipated threat to her safety. Doctor, what are you even talking about? He was in character. This was all for the sake of donations. You understand, right? Anyways, can he have his dog back? It's crazy that was his defense and he thought this whole thing would have been fine, you know, especially after all the threats he was making and actually raising his hands on the dog for the sake of a $5 donation, putting Peaches through shit. Honestly, it blows my mind. I mean, it kind of explains itself where people live stream their life 24/7. Very depressing life where you have no privacy. And who said you have to do what people want you to do? When it's bad, it's bad. Don't do it. Do something else where you're gonna get a different type of audience who are going to enjoy your video. Don't be like, oh, I'm stuck, so I just have to, you know, one person like me beating my dog, so now I have to beat my dog for the rest of my life and the rest of her life. Sorry, Peaches. Anyways, the streamer is facing criminal charges for the threats against the animal and willfully causing unnecessary pain, suffering, or injury.
All right, y'all. The most popular rapper in the game right now is arguably the most demonic that we've ever seen. And when I say demonic, like the most demonic rapper that we've ever seen. Now, I'm sure there's been other rappers who have been into some dark and demonic stuff, but for the most part, they've kept the details of what they're into behind closed doors. Skrilla is opening up those doors. He's exposing himself. And he seems to not have any problem. 92.1 million people also don't have any problem. At least according to YouTube, 92.1 million monthly audience on YouTube. We're not even talking about Spotify or Apple. Just on YouTube. If you make a catchy song with repeatable lyrics, people forgive a lot of stuff. Actually, people will choose to not even consider any of the stuff that you're into if you can make them feel a certain way with the music. So as long as you say 6, 7, it's okay. What you do behind closed doors, even if you're sacrificing goats and chickens, even if you're openly talking about the spells that you cast on people, even if you openly talk about death and how you believe that you can actually conjure up death on somebody in the spiritual realm. This is real stuff. This is real stuff. Let's play this clip. Let's start here. I wasn't gonna start here, but let's start here. I think we should. This is Skrilla talking about his religion.
You can put bad spirits on people too. Like you can put a person's name and like their birthday like that inside the. You can put them inside the Agun pot. And like you basically sending Agun like metal, like they can get shot, stabbed, something can happen to them.
So it would be something in metal that would kill them. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
you know,
it's different ways you could do things, but like you can actually put somebody's name in your shoe and keep keep it in the bottom of your sock or in your shoe, like
What happened?
bad shit happened to him. Like, yeah, you go put.
You know what was interesting? I was listening to a song, not for leisure, but for the purposes of this video. I was listening to one of his songs and he said something that was very interesting. The song in question is from 2024. It's called Words from Oshun. Or Osun, I'm sorry. They all look the same. They're all the same at this point. False gods. But Osun. And this is what he said. He said, Brody said the whole summer he just snatching souls. And then he said, dang, that's my whole life goal. My whole life goal is snatching souls. He said, my whole life goal is snatching souls. But for who? Because you definitely ain't doing it for Jesus. So you got over 100 million people listening to your music, and your desire is to lead them to hell.